Yo, this is Afro, aka All Flows Reach Out, and you're listening to Built for This Network. Yes, sir. From the building, stay bomb.
Hey, yeah, we're the same brothers from a long time ago. We was talking about television and doing it on the radio. What we did was to help our generation realize they got to get out there and get busy because it wasn't going to be televised. We got respect for young rappers and the way they're freewaying. But if you're going to be teaching folks things, be sure you know what you're saying. Older folks in our neighborhood got plenty of know-how. Remember, if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be out there now. And I ain't coming at you with no disrespect. All I'm saying is that you damn well got to be correct. Because if you're going to be speaking for a whole generation and you know enough to try and handle their education, be sure you know the real deal about past situations and ain't just repeating what you heard on a local TV station. Sometimes they tell lies and put them in a truthful disguise. But the truth is, that's why we said it wouldn't be televised. They don't know what to say to our young folks, but they know that you do. And if they really knew the truth, why would they tell you? The first sign is peace. Tell all them gun-toting young brothers that the man is glad to see us out there killing one another. We raised too much hell when they were shooting us down, so they started poisoning our mind and trying to jerk us all around. And then they tell us they got to come in and control our situation. They want half of us on dope and the other half in incarceration. If the ones they want dead ain't killed by what they instigated, they can put some dope on the brother's body and claim it was drug-related. Tell them drug-related means there don't need to be no investigation, or at least that's the way they're gonna play it on the local TV station. All your 9mm brothers, give them something to think about. Tell them you heard that this is the new word. They got to work that stuff out. But somehow they feeling the wrong way with a gun in their hands. They feeling real independent, but they just pulling contracts with a man. 5 and 5 will tell you it's hopeless out there on the avenue, but if they really knew the truth, why would they tell you? And if they look at you like you're insane and they start calling you scarecrow and say you ain't got no brain, or start telling folks that you suddenly gone lame, or that white folks have finally co-opted your game, or worse yet, implying that you don't really know, that's the same thing they said about us a long time ago. Young rappers, one more suggestion before I get out of your way. But I appreciate the respect you give me and what you got to say. I'm saying protect your community and spread that respect around. Tell brothers and sisters they got to calm that bullshit down, because we're terrorizing our old folks and we brought fear into our homes, and they ain't got to hang out with the senior citizens. Just tell them, damn it, leave the old folks alone. And we know who ripping off the neighborhood. Tell them that BS has got to stop. Tell them you're sorry they can't handle it out there, but they got to take the crime off the block. And if they look at you like they think you're insane, or start calling you scarecrow thinking you ain't got no brain, or start telling folks that you suddenly gone lame, or that white folks have suddenly co-opted your game, or worse yet, saying that you really don't know, that's the same thing they said about me a long time ago. And if they tell folks that you finally lost your nerve, that's the same thing they said about us when we said Johannesburg. But I think you young folks need to know that things don't go both ways. You can't talk respect on every other song or just every other day. What I'm speaking on now is the raps about the women folks. On one song, she's your African queen, and on the next one, she's a joke. And you ain't said no words that I haven't heard, but that ain't no compliment. It only insults 8 people out of 10 and questions your intelligence. 4-letter words or 4-syllable words won't make you a poet. It will only magnify how shallow you are and let everybody know it. And if they look at you like they think you're insane, or they call you scarecrow thinking you ain't got no brain, or start telling folks that you suddenly gone lame, or that the white folks have finally co-opted your game, or you really don't know, they said that about me a long time ago. If they finally start telling people that you lost your nerve, that's what they said about Johannesburg. You ain't insane. You have got a brain. You haven't gone lame. You have got your game. Remember, keep the nerve. Keep the nerve. Keep the nerve. Keep the nerve. We're talking about peace.
tuned in to Build and Destroy, hosted by HRap.
Good evening. It's your man HRap. You like the new intro? I'm gonna flip that. I'm gonna ask the pictures of you in there. It works. It works better that way. I was wanting to see if I hadn't shown that to you. Otherwise, this is the end of the bench. This is the end of the bench. This is HRap and B, where two adults have conversation about current event in life. You cut your hair?
No.
Oh.
Actually, if you could see my hair better, you be shaking your head.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. We ain't been on in 2 weeks. There's been a lot transpired in the last 2 weeks. And we're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about a few things. First and foremost, I want to send condolences to my man Jeff Burton. He lost his daughter. And we lost a cousin, Darius Duncan. He was laid to rest.
Okay.
Rest in peace and blessings to our family, the Duncans, the Lickens, the Williams, and peace and blessings to the Burton family. Jeff, I've been knowing him since 1984. Real smooth dude. It shouldn't happen. You shouldn't lose. You shouldn't bury your children. Your children should bury you. With that being said, how you been, man?
Man, I had one of the most amazing times yesterday, and I'm so upset that you didn't come, and I didn't invite you, because it wasn't really an invite thing. It was really just Nut and Jew had a show, and Skeety came outside. Skeety and Sam was outside, and I said, "Oh man, who done let this square out the house?" We sitting there drinking and partying, and Skeety like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to sit this one out, y'all." I said, "Oh man, I done finally get old enough to party with Skeety," and he talking about, "I'm gonna sit this one out." I seen Keith out. I seen Sam was out. Skeety, Sam, Keys, Courtney. Man, we just had a real good time. Just some people I ain't seen in a long time.
Family in the building. That's what's up. All right, that's what's up. Yeah, you ain't called me. But that was y'all generation. That's y'all. Y'all can let Sam and Skeety be the old heads on that one,
I'm gonna definitely keep you in tune for the next one, because that was a real big show for them, because they did it on the I'm gonna go butcher this name, so I'm not even gonna say it. It's this radio station, and they do a podcast as well, and then they hold a different showcase every year.
Oh, okay. That's what's up, man. Salute to Jew. Salute to Nut. It's good to see y'all doing y'all thing. Well, it was a regular old week for me, man. It was a regular old week. My health is kind of shaky. I got some bad news, but what else is new?
Pretty much.
Hey, I'm 50. You get to falling apart. But the bounce back is where it's at, man. The bounce back is where it's at.
Major setback for a major comeback.
Boy. It's my time of year. They say this is called I think this is called the metal part of the year, and in astrology terms, and this is when things die. So I'm gonna let all these bad vibes die, and I'm gonna take over the world like Ali at 63 in 2023, as usual. You know me, man. You seen me do it. I'm gonna always do it. The comeback is better than the knockdown.
Always.
With that being said, that's my man Willie D. Let's talk about this wild, beautiful, crazy world. Salute to Willie D, man. I like that. He's
super, man. I love Willie D. Love listening to that podcast too. Shout out to the Ghetto Boys.
Ghetto Boys podcast is insane.
Insane.
Well, the one big story, I talked about it on my show. You had Dr. Umar Johnson talk about it on the Breakfast Club. Everybody in the world been talking about it. We talk about one of my favorites, one of your favorites. Our man Dion Coach Prime Sanders packed up his bag and jetted. Let's talk about it. He went to a bigger school. What are your thoughts? Your initial thoughts after sitting on it for a week and a half, and how you feel right now?
My initial thoughts were, you can't tell a man how to live their life.
Word.
And those are still my thoughts at the end of the day. But it's a lot of things that you have to stand on as a man too. And one of those things is when you start something, you finish it. So
let me stop you. There's an out clause in most of those contracts. So, and it literally says, if the big dogs come, you get to go.
That's my statement still stands.
Okay.
My statement still stands at the end of the day, because if you're signing on to take on this big job, to whereas this is for the culture. This isn't just a job. This is, you took this job to show the world, the National Football League, for the College National Football League, the
NCAA,
the NCAA, that I can bring this HBCU school to a D1 and make it turn it into a D1 school.
Okay.
That's a huge obligation, because one, you are a black coach, and you're a black man as well as a black coach, and you're a NFL Hall of Famer. So for you to try to fill those shoes, and you started to succeed at filling those shoes, and then for you to walk away from it, it's kind of a little shaky.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, like I said, my statement still stands, because you can leave, and again, I still believe as a man you can do whatever you like, but you have to don't start something and then don't finish it.
First of all, I'm gonna say this: we ain't gonna use that term "devil's advocate" no more. How we gonna be believing God and then advocating for the devil? I hate that. Let me play devil's advocate. No, I ain't defending the devil. You know what I'm saying? But first of all, I'm gonna say what's up, number one Chief Rocket Jersey, Vernon Rita, DJ Mad Night, CJ, my man Terrell from the North Side. We in the building. We represent every week, and Bo is in the building. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. I am gonna play the other side of that coin. What happens in the event that they not living up to their end?
Then it's open for discussion at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Because me and you don't know what happened behind closed doors. So if it's a legit, I'm asking for this, and it's a reasonable request, and I'm not getting it, then it's like, hey, I'm out.
Okay.
But if it's a request that you just asking and you just know this ain't gonna happen, then it's kind of one of those, come on, bro, we doing our best here.
Okay. This is you got CJ and number one Chief Rocket Jersey Vine. He said he gave him the blueprint, followed him, plus look at all what he gave. And CJ always says, why don't anybody talk about what he did?
No, he did a tremendous job. I would never take away from anything he did. He had a 12-0 record when they record was double bag of garbage. So I'm not I want to take this on set the record straight. I'm not upset that he left, and I'm not judging him that he left. But it's just some things you just got to stand on, because me and you had a prior conversation, not about our questions, but a prior conversation to this, about how it kind of looks bad on you when you start something and then you don't finish it, and then you leave for a bigger bag. And it kind of lets the people know that at the end of the day, it kind of shows the world that they'll turn on their people for some money.
That is. Well, I'm going to address both those questions as well. Rocker said that he gave him a blueprint. Look at all he gave. Well, there is no, like I said last night, there is no blueprint when you a figure like Deion Sanders, because it ain't nobody in the league right now or ever in the league that can do what Prime did. He a trailblazer, so you can't say, do it like I did it. You don't have all the corporate sponsorships. You don't have all that. So that's not really a blueprint. What I will say is this. He woke us up. He woke us up to make us real. He should have woken us up to make us realize that it can be done. See,
Yes.
if we start engaging, see, it's a civic thing as well, because as my man Corey Holcomb said last night, these are state-funded schools, government-funded schools. But guess what? If we start pouring into these institutions, guess what happens?
It makes these institutions better, and it forces the situations around them to be better.
Exactly. See, one of the reasons Lincoln Park High School, what's up, Big Illinois in the building? Lincoln Park High School excelled is because, for one, they were in a greater tax base, so they got more access to money. Two, the alumni, you got people who were judges. You got people, one of the Cubs, at Big Illinois, he went to school with one of the Cubs players. He donating stuff. You got people donate, and what we need to do is look at the blueprint of what they do so we can look at that blueprint, copy that blueprint, and do for. We can't do what Prime do because there's only one Prime. The man was amazing, is amazing. He has charisma. He has ability. He has a stick-to-itiveness. He works hard. I mean, the man is a unique individual, and he is excellent at what he does. So you can't say, do it like Michael Jordan. Well, I don't have 40-inch vertical. I can't flow in the air like that. I can work hard.
Yeah, I can work as hard as I can. I can work as hard as my body will allow it, but
right,
like
limitations.
It's, like you said, I mean, and then it's a lot of things that, like I say, like there's no blueprint to, like, you know what I'm saying, to success. You have to do what's best for you to make it work for you.
Right. And like with the Coach Prime thing, we are, CJ said, why don't we talk about what he has done? People have talked about what he's done, but when the last thing you did was sting somebody, people gonna talk about that sting. Now, nobody talk about how great OJ was. They talk about killing this dude. CJ, I'm not gonna read that paragraph, fam. It's not gonna happen. CJ, it's just too much to read, bro.
Yeah, man, CJ the truth, man.
Yeah. But the thing is, okay, I'm tired. I am gonna read that. He said, let's not forget the support from the boosters. The boosters don't have the money. The boosters at Jackson State are not millionaires like at Ohio State. He bought them the SWAC championship and got no bonuses. He knew the financial situation when he walked in the door. Because he walked around that institution. Then he ain't just called them and say, hey, can I get the job? He walked around that campus. He saw the shape that the campus in. He saw the shape the fields in. And he accepted the job because he knew they were struggling. He took that job because nobody else on earth was going to hire him. So let's not, why do we have to act as if nobody cares? But they do. But here's the bottom line. HBCUs are underfunded. The alumni don't have the funds that the people who went to Ohio State, the people who went to Brigham Young, people who went to Washington, the people who went to LSU, these people have, they are in, like, Jackson State don't have, like, LSU has a locker room that's worth $40 million. Well, no, $26 million. Jackson State, they don't have that. So he walked in the door knowing one thing. So you can't give somebody credit because, again, he didn't have Nike. He had Under Armour. Say Walmart, he did bring Walmart into the situation. They built a new field. But let's not forget, you took a job in the poor state of all 50 states. So you are going to be underfunded. You did great things, but that does not, because you do a whole lot of great, does not mean when you leave inappropriately, in most people's opinion. I'm not saying that's my opinion. When you leave the way he left, and it burns a lot of people, people will discuss that, not everything that you did, because you remember it's this old saying. No matter how many yeses you tell somebody, they're going to remember.
I was just about to say that. In layman's terms, you could give 1,000 yeses. The minute you say no, you're the worst person on earth.
And like I said last night, and I agree. Like I said last night, when you're dealing with Coach Prime, what I would ask people is this. Coach Prime gave the impression that he was going to be there for a while. Coach Prime said what he was going to do. Now, he shed a light on this, but I can give you $10,000 and then go somewhere else to get $50,000. Hey, I gave you $10,000, BJ. You need to be happy with that. But if you are coming to shed light on HBCUs, you are coming to uplift the culture, you need to have an infrastructure put in place. Now, the dude that he wanted to be coach, salute to T.C. Wilson. He got the job today. But I believe Prime should have walked in the door and said, this is why I'm here. And when I get everything established, TC is going to take over. He should have walked in the door saying that, because anybody who knew Prime knows Prime wants to be the head coach at Florida State University. So people at Colorado, like I said last night, don't get comfortable.
That's when Florida State come. It's cracking. He's going to be a Gator.
It's just a Seminole. That's University of Florida. But yeah, it's just a situation to whereas it's not that people are ignoring what he did. How about this? Most coaches in that same situation go to the bowl game, which is the Celebration Bowl, the Cricket Celebration Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia. We need to make that a big deal too. I'm going to talk about that with you later. We need to start making that a big deal. The Cricket Celebration Bowl. And then after that, then announce that you got the Colorado job.
Mm-hmm.
You leave on a high note and then say, I got TC in place. Look at what I did for you, and I'm going to greener pastures. I personally believe people will have a different outlook on how this shook out had he did it that way. Because you leave it on, like, I took a management thing when I was working at Van Roo. They sent us to this management seminar. No, that wasn't at Van Roo. Van Roo wouldn't do that. When I was at the Post, went to this management seminar. They told you, terminate people on Friday as you hand them their paycheck. You'll have you're less likely to have an outbreak. So if it's Friday evening, you'd have had a whole nother 40 hours to add on to that paycheck. I'm handing you a paycheck. You less likely to go, yeah. But me, I've been tempted to get you, because don't make me work all day. Fire me at 8 o'clock. And you call me, you fire me.
Hey, man.
Don't get no whole day up out of me.
That is one of my worst fears. I done worked 8 hours and go ahead and take your stuff with you. What you mean? Oh no, I'm gonna be back tomorrow. Fire me tomorrow. I'm the payroll tonight.
Yeah. I got direct deposit, man. Don't make me come up in there. Brian, I know it's illegal, but you fired. Just don't tell them. Could I can say gas money and time. I could be on the job. I'm on the job interview today anyway. Big time. I've been mad. Chief Rock said he don't think that he's going to Florida State. He mad at them. Can't be mad at him. First and foremost, when that job was available, he didn't have a degree. He went over to an HBCU and got a degree in 2020. Talladega College, Talladega, Alabama. Guess who's a part of an HBCU culture? Prime. So he got his degree in 2020, so he couldn't do it. So, see, everybody keeps saying, look at what he did for them. Don't tell me Deion Sanders was in somebody's class in 2018 and 2019. Some strings were pulled, and they put him in play, and there it is. So, he can't coach without a degree. He got his degree from an HBCU, got hired by an HBCU, did excellent work at an HBCU, drew attention that nobody else in the history of the world, I personally believe, outside of Muhammad Ali, would have brought that type of attention to HBCUs. And Muhammad Ali ain't no football coach, so I'm going to go with Deion Sanders. Is the only person that ever walked the earth outside of the Lord himself, Jesus Christ, that could have brought that attention to it. And he did his thing, but it's not what he did. It's the way, like I said last night, it's a wrong way to do the right thing. Period. And people, we got Pastor Dodd, we got Just Joe in the building as well, too. Good to see y'all. Somebody, anybody, everybody hit that like button, hit that share button. Tell a friend, hit that subscribe button. We need more subscribers. And this ain't on the bench yet, but it will be. It will be. So I ain't mad like you. I am not mad at
I'm not mad at him at all.
I'm not mad at Prime at all. I don't think it's a horrible situation.
Not at all.
But you know what? This is not one of the questions. But I want to ask you this. This is out of the blue. So if you don't have a question, answer for this question, I understand. If you don't have an answer for this, I understand. What kind of impact on the culture does Deion Sanders have going to Colorado? Is it beneficial or is it detrimental? I didn't ask you this. You didn't know this question was coming, but let's talk.
Detrimental.
Detrimental. How so?
Because and we're speaking culture only, not his performance, not his likelihood. We're talking about culture only, and it goes back to the point that, like I said, it just kind of looks a little crazy when you making statements about helping this program and doing this, and the minute somebody waves some money in your face, you go. It makes people feel like they can be bought. We can be bought out at any point.
You know what?
I just feel like that's only for the culture. It's not a shot toward him or anything. It's culture-wise only. The minute if I work for end of the bench and I'm getting end of the bench together, I'm getting it together, and I go. And GCI called me tomorrow and go, hey man, we got and end of the bench getting me together. They got me a nice little salary. And then GCI called me and said, man, we got $500,000 for you. Hey, yo, Pop, I'm on and get up out of here. You gonna be like, whoa, wait, hold on. I thought we was doing this. Yeah, but they got $500,000.
And one of the major reasons I totally agree with you in regards to that is because I'm not even saying I wouldn't have taken. I don't want him to take the job. Go take the job.
Me either, and that's why I said I'm not mad at him. Like, take it.
I disagree with Rocca. He gonna end up in Florida. If the Florida State coach do what this last coach did, look real good initially, and then fall off like bad dope, what's gonna happen? Or if he get Colorado in the top 10, Prime don't have to win a championship. If he take them from 1-10 to in the top 10,
I was about to say, and their records, they might as well sign me and you for what their record was.
Now they can sign you with this back, these knees, these hips. No sir, I can't run no more. You can still run. You 29.
They can't either.
When I was 29, I could, but I can't even touch the neck. You know. But no, I'm kidding. But it does look bad. Like I said yesterday, Tuesday. Yesterday was Tuesday. Like I said yesterday, this is the Negro Leagues all over again, potentially. And also, like, okay, damn, I ain't want to get into this. Man, I shouldn't have brought this up. But we in it now, man. Let's swing.
No.
I'm saying, like, the Negro Leagues, this is a...
No, I know exactly where you're going with this, and I understand, and I totally agree. You're about to say this is one of the bigger reasons that Black people, the way we're so reliant on someone else now because we wanted to be accepted by others so bad that we went over to MLB when we're the stars of this league. This is our thing, and if we would have kept the Negro Leagues, we would have had a Black basketball organization as well as a Black football organization, all Black golf, all Black tennis, every sport you could think
potentially,
of.
Yeah.
This is ours. And even if we did decide to let white people or any other race in it, it's still ours. That we own this. So I love where this is going.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's exactly what I was gonna say. It's sometimes you gotta, and see, he was a great person for that movement because he was the dude that he didn't need the money. He didn't need the money. See, when you ask Coach HRap, I'm 30 cents away from a quarter. So it's like, man, Coach HRap, yeah, get that money, HRap. Get that money, HRap, and then it's over. And there it is. It's over. Case closed. But if you start something like this, you have to. I think when you get to talking like he was talking, I think you have to be aware.
That's been my entire point. This whole conversation, like you said, it wasn't about money for him. It wasn't about fame and notoriety for him. Your prime time, your Deion Sanders, a Hall of Famers, one of the best players to ever touch a football field. You didn't need any of this. You could sit back and literally live off your residuals from football and baseball, and never touch TV ever again.
Mm-hmm. And see, this is the thing, like what CJ just said. Black people will leave. Yeah, because black people got to get their black asses up and go to work every day. Black people need those checks. If you make 65, 75, 85, 100K, you need that bread to maintain. But if I hit the Powerball tonight, and that means NBC, ESPN, Fox Sports, or whatever entity that look at us and go, hey, that's a cool show. They can't buy us because we don't really need your money.
I don't need
it. People keep bringing this to their level. Hey, man, I make $65,000 a year. I make $100,000 a year. If somebody offer me $500,000 a year, of course I'll leave.
But if you already got look at it like this. If you got $20 million resting in your account and somebody offer you a $5 to go do some work that you really don't have to do, yeah, you would do it if you're bored, but 9 times out of 10, I got 20 million in that account. Whatever.
Right. You can't, and then the thing is, I'm going to go back to this one situation. I'm not going to say any names because they might hurt people's feelings. They might get in their feelings. But, when I tell the story, you know what I'm talking about. It was just 2 gentlemen that I knew. And they started their own business. And one of them had a rich friend. And they were doing subcontracting for the rich friend. They were actually making the rich friend look good to his clients because they were killing it. Mm-hmm. The rich friend said, tell you what, y'all making $100K a month. I'll pay both of y'all $250,000 each a year. And I will buy your company and make it a subsidiary of mine. One of the friends said, man, maybe we should. And the other friend said, man, how you going to sell your dream? You can't let your dream be purchased. See, that's the blueprint that has done us in time and time again. Russell Simmons. We can go before Russell Simmons. Berry Gordy created Motown. Motown is no longer owned by Berry Gordy. Berry Gordy's still richest Brinks. He got more money than he can ever spend, but he don't own Motown anymore. Russell Simmons sold Def Jam. Russell Simmons sold Fat Farm. Puff Daddy, he got rid of Bad Boy. Master P, the Hot Boys, they the only people that kept their label. Death Row, it's just been repurchased by Snoop Dogg. It's just an ongoing cycle that we build it up. See, it's better, like Bob Johnson. It's better to have $4 billion in your hand than have something worth $4 billion. Nah, because if I got $4 billion in my hand, then what we do as a community, we sell BET, and then what we do after that, we go. Them people at ABC, Fox, NBC, CBS, they don't want to put our shows on TV. Well, if we'd have kept BET, we could have won. Just imagine this. Bob Johnson dropped the ball tremendously. I'm not looking out for Bob Johnson. I'm not saying anything disparaging, but Bob Johnson dropped the ball. How is it Living Singles and Martin wasn't on BET? Where would that be? How is it? Just imagine BET picks up in Living Color. It picks up Martin. It picks up Living Singles. Game changer. But he sold for $4 billion. How you gonna knock him for getting $4 billion? If you offer me $4 billion for something, it's worth $400 billion.
And that's and a lot of people just don't see that vision. And we sell out so many times, and it's sad. It's a couple people that did, off the top of my head, that didn't sell out, and it's like one example that I can even think of on top of my head is who Justin Weaver is, right? Mm-hmm. He didn't. I just recently found out maybe a year or two ago he didn't sell out to Disney. He was the voice of
Jason Weaver.
Jason Weaver. He was the voice of Simba.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried to give him $3 million for that. I
For
just want to be
singing.
cool. They just wanted that one song, and they said, "Hey, man, we'll give you this for that. We'll give you that.
Yeah. Drive Away.
Yeah, we'll give you that. We'll give you.
Just keep driving. We good on, like, don't worry about what it looks like.
No, I'm gonna pull up to the house now. But
Right.
we'll give you $3 billion for the King song. I just want to be a king. His mom told them, "No, man, we not doing that."
We got TT Phillips in the building.
Yeah, he said we not doing this. That's that. I want to believe that movie came out around the time
You were
I was born.
Yeah.
The exact year, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe.
And he said he's still getting residual checks for that.
Yeah, he's still caked up from that. Yeah.
From that one song.
Yeah. And that's the thing. See, it actually came out the year after you was born. 1994.
94.
Boy. It's been plenty of times your mama left you in the house and said, "Watch your son." And I'd be dog tired. And I would turn on the Lion King and you would freeze. I was like, okay, I got 20 minutes. Shout out to the Lion King.
Yeah.
But
that's just a perfect example of, like you said, man, if it's worth this, it got to be worth a little bit more than this, because you'll never get what they talking about or what it's really worth. They're not gonna offer you that. If I got $100,000 car and I take it to the dealership, they're not gonna say, "Hey, it go $100,000." No, they gonna look at it, ding, scratch this, it's this many miles, and they gonna say, in your heart of heart, this is worth $100,000. They're definitely gonna say, "Hey, man, take this 75 to 60 grand."
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. We've been struggling financially for so long. We have been struggling financially for so long that when we see a big bag, we see a big bag of money, we go, "Oh, it's more money than I ever had." But if you offer me more money than I ever had, then we got Tree in the building. Good to see you. You offer me more money than I ever seen. That does not mean you offer me what it's worth. Look at the corner stores. People from other cultures came in, showed our elders $250,000 for their store, and then we'll give you some money on the back end. That person died. We ain't give you no more money in the back end. We own your store, and they making $250,000, $300,000 a year at a corner store. And people going, "Why did he sell?" Because he saw more money than he ever saw at one time in his life. And that's what we do. Look, we keep seeing it time and time again. Chess Records, the movie Chess Records. He gave Muddy Waters a Cadillac. He gave Muddy Waters a little money. And when he gave him a Cadillac and a little money, what happened? It was over. Now I own your masters. Like Prince gave an example on Jay Leno one night. Everybody was big up in Mariah Carey for signing a $20 million record deal. And at the time, $20 million was an insane amount of money, right? Prince said, "Really? That's a big deal?" And he asked the crowd, "That's a big deal." The crowd, "Yes." He said, "Okay, look at it this way. She signed a $20 million deal. She puts out one record." He said, "What's a good split for you, Jay?" They said, "What, 50-50? He said, "Cool, 50-50. He said, "If she sells 1 million records at $19 a pop, that's $10 million. If she sells 2 million records at $19 a pop, that's $20 million. If she sells 3 million records," which Mariah Carey did on a regular basis, that's $30 million. She just outperformed her own contract. So, is it a good record deal, or is it just it sounds good up front? You see $5 million. I'm Deion Sanders. He making $5 million in appearances and Aflac commercials and all them other connections. Yeah, he making $5 million a year in his sleep. So that's the thing that we need to look at before we look at that. And again, we're gonna say it again because it's people that's coming in and people that's coming in in the middle of the conversation. We salute Deion Sanders. We want him to be in Colorado. We want him to win a national championship. but there are tentacles to this conversation. It is not a linear conversation. You must use peripheral vision as you look at this because, again, if I offer you $1 million for something, how much is it really worth? Financial literacy is the key. But again, I can't blame a person for needing that money. See, again, CJ, stop making this a CJ thing. Dion quit a $900,000 a year CBS sports job because I remember he was fighting over that bag. He quit that job to go work for free and coach all of his children through middle school and high school. Money ain't his problem. And I'm not saying don't take the money, but stop making this a CJ thing. Stop making this a Brian thing. Stop making this a John thing. Stop making it a Joe thing. Stop making this a Vern thing, Anthony thing, or whoever you are. And look at who he is. $5 million is not a lot of money to Deion Primetime. Understand, Deion Sanders told the team before draft day, don't pick me. Because if you pick me, I'm going to ask for so much money, y'all going to have to put me on layaway. He used to work for the Braves. He worked for the Cincinnati Royals. He worked for, the Cincinnati Reds. He worked for the Yankees and a few other teams in Major League Baseball. And anybody who knows anything about baseball, they know that's a lucrative world. He played for the Falcons. He played for the Cowboys. He played for the 49ers. He played for the Washington Commanders. They're the Commanders now. I'm not going to say that racial slur. And he played for the Ravens. And he got a bag each time. So we're not talking about a pauper. We're not talking about a dude who was making $55,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, or he was making $250,000, $300,000, and he was making $500,000. He was able to give two away. If you can give away $200,000, I really don't think you starving for money. And again, it's not the move we're talking about. It's not the fact that Coach Prime shouldn't take the money. Sometimes, at some point, I believe, as you stated, B, instead of chasing that money, worry about being the king in your land instead of a duke in Power 5. Because
the killer part about it is, if we want to be just bluntly honest about this, if he would have gave that organization another 2 or 3 seasons, they'd have made that. They'd have found that money for him. If it was about that cash, they'd have found that money quick.
They would have found the money because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna keep it all the way funky with you. HBCUs are notorious for being horrible with money. They're notorious for that. But what I am gonna do, I forgot to do this. I forgot to set it up. I'm going to play this. I'm going to play something from a conversation with Dr. Greg Carr and Karen Hunter. As we talk, I'm going to look that up. They notoriously horrible with money. So again, this is why we can't say, yo, Prime, you wrong. All we're saying is, I wish you wouldn't have done it. I just wish he would have given Jackson State University. I wish he would have gave Jackson State University the heads up. This is just wishful thinking. Yo, Prime, can you do it this way? That's all I wanted. Hey, walk in the door, give them that prime shine, make everybody fall in love with you. That's what you do. We love you for that. That's your get down. That is truly your gift. And then what you say is this, yo, I'm going to be here. I'm going to blow up the spot. I'm finna get y'all more attention than y'all ever gotten y'all in the history of these institutions. And my man TC, who took over today, God bless him. Thank you, TC. We rooting for you too, TC. TC going to take over because y'all know I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Had Coach Prime said that, I don't think everybody be on his back like that. That's just me. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have to, hopefully the people in the background can hear this. Let me see. I know the episode 138. 138. Because this is why this entire situation did not shock me. Because y'all, you know the dude who I salute every week. I tell people this is one of the most informed men I've ever come across in my life. and it's Dr. Greg Carr.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Greg Carr said this back 2 days before Halloween, man. He said this 2 days before Halloween. Let me see, trying to find the date on this. And I'm going to let you hear something. I'm going to let you hear what he said about Coach Prime. And, you know, and this will, you know what? I can't do this as we're doing it live. Whew. Yeah, thank you for covering your head, boy. But Dr. Carr literally said October 29th. No, 31st is, he said it. Yeah, 29th. He said it the 29th. He said these white colleges are busting their back, working 24 hours a day to get enough money to get Prime to leave. If Dr. Carr saw that on the 31st of October or the 29th of October, that means other people saw it too. And that goes right into what you said. We have to stop being susceptible to crumbs when we can build our own empire. Enough of that conversation, man. What do you think about people getting mad? That's the next question.
About what?
About the whole thing. What do you think about people getting angry about a man making a decision that's best for his career? Because let's be honest, this is an uptick for his career. This is a gateway for a greener pastures. What do you think about people getting angry?
You have a right to your opinion, and you can be. It's okay to be okay.
And calling them names. I forgot that part. And calling him names.
That's a no-no.
Mm-hmm.
You don't disrespect him for the decision that he made to better his situation. It's okay to go, come on, man. Like, I leave right now to go to Florida with no plan and to live down there just to go willy-nilly. You can go, come on, BJ, but you can't get mad at me. You can't call me this. That's your decision. I'm a grown man.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So you have the right to be a little upset. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being like, come on, Prime. Come on. You sold out to this. You leaving us. Come on now. But no, I just can't. I can't be mad at him again. Like from the previous statement I made earlier, I can't be mad. It's just I'm a little disappointed, but I honestly can't get mad, and no one can be mad at him. That's his decision. He has to live with it.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Charlie Murphy. Yeah. I think it's an exercise of futility to get mad at primetime Deion Sanders, and it just like you just said. Initially, you said, it shows that we will sell out for anything. When we get to calling each other names publicly, that's even worse.
Exactly.
That's divide and conquer at its best.
Man, and I tell people all the time, and me and you've had this conversation. It's certain, and I can't think of something on top of my head, but I tell people all the time, it's certain things that I go, yeah, these black people are fools for it. But I ain't gonna give you the satisfaction of letting you hear it come out my mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna break down another black man because of my feelings. No, that's what he wanted to do. Hey man, it is what it is. But when me and my old man behind closed doors, man, what's wrong with this fool?
Right. And see, that's what's missing in the community, if you ask me. Those kitchen conversations, those barbershop conversations, those cookout conversations. If BJ does something foul, or God forbid you do something and end up in jail, me and your mama gonna call you the dumbest joker we can find on the phone. When it's time to go to court, we're gonna be standing there like, well, that's my son.
At the end of the day,
I don't care if he shot the Pope. That's my son. I don't care if he shot.
That is and as like you said, that's one of those dividing things. Like that is one major thing. If that could be fixed, that's another thing that will help our community as a whole. That is one thing that'll get everything together right there. Like, nah, we can't keep falling for this.
Yep. Yeah, man, it's just crazy, man. We are living in a world in which we're too quick to publicly excoriate our brothers and sisters because guess what, man? Harvey Weinstein got convicted this week. Harvey Weinstein. Anybody talk about Harvey Weinstein outside of me and you right now? But we'll talk about Robert Kelly. We'll talk about Bill Cosby.
What's the football player who just got what is it, Brett Favre?
Yeah, Brett Favre. You know, they ain't talking about Brett Favre, but we'll yell at
I ain't heard one thing about Brett Favre. One thing.
Check this out. This is another reason that you can tell the dominant society don't do what we do. Check this out. Check this out. The only reason people talk about OJ is because he killed a white woman.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably people that's gonna listen and listening currently. Oh man, you going racial. The only reason we talk about OJ Orenthal James Simpson is because Nicole Brown Simpson was white. I'm gonna prove it. I can prove it right now. Want me to prove it? Rafe Carruth killed his girlfriend, had his girlfriend murdered. She dead. He went to jail and has gotten out and left a disabled young man in the wake. She was like an oxygen came to the baby. The young man is special needs now. You ain't heard of nothing. I don't even know Rafe Carruth's girlfriend's name, but I know his name.
I don't even know Rafe.
There you go. So while everybody else, I mean, OJ, OJ the poster boy for domestic violence. OJ the worst dude in the world. OJ. But guess what? OJ killed a white woman. That's why we talk about him. So if everybody else can keep all their dirt under wraps and talk amongst each other, instead of us scoring our brother Coach Prime for doing something that we disagree with, because he didn't do anything wrong.
At all.
We just disagree with it. And it's okay to disagree.
And that's why I said it's okay to be mad. It's fine. It's okay.
But we can't be in front of the world. He's a coon. He's a sellout. Man, I got mad respect for Dr. Umar Johnson. Got mad respect for him. But he be saying some stuff that, like, I'm going to reach out to Dr. Umar Johnson because he said, if anybody want me on their podcast, call me. Bruh, you might be seeing Umar right there one day. But with that being said, Dr. Umar be saying, he need this many lashes. Lashes? Bruh, that's whipping. Bruh, that's right out of slavery. We weren't on the continent whipping each other. How you gonna take the oppressor's way of life and apply it to your brothers who you feel run astray? Hey, fun fact, as I do every week. Do you know the word jail? It is over 2,800 languages on the continent. The word jail is not in any of them. Jail started over here and up there in Europe. Jail is not a thing. You get ostracized. You got to go. When you look at the Bible, at no point do they say, and we're going to put you in jail. Cain killed Abel in a perfect world. Cain killed Abel. And God said, we finna break your plate. You got to go. You got to go. He didn't say, kill it. He said, go. And then he even said, and better not nobody touch him. So I get with you and not that. You know, so we lashes and all your coon and sucker and nah, man. I disagree. I wish he wouldn't have, but at the end of the day, our brother did what he perceived was best for him. And if that was what was best for you, bruh, get down. And I think I may answer because I'm listening to Dr. Carr while you talk.
And I mean, and that's pretty right. That pretty much wraps it up for me, though. At the end of the day, you know, me and you've had previous conversations, and I didn't say it 1,000 times on this very podcast right today. I'm not mad, and I will never criticize him. But I am a little disappointed. And that's it. That's all.
Yeah. Because if we don't say, how you mad at somebody for doing what they think? Deion Sanders didn't hurt anybody. He didn't. He is not going to hurt. As a matter of fact, again, I'm tired of these brothers. Oh, man, he got these coaches more money. Yeah, he got them more money. But are you a whore? Are you a man? We all want better opportunity, man. I would walk up out of this joint right now and go play the Powerball. If I knew I was going to win, I'd put $10 down. So I'm not telling nobody to turn down no money. I'm not telling nobody not to do what's best for them. But at some point, we're going to stop complaining about, like, instances like our cousin Darius, they got murdered. We're going to start complaining. We need to start complaining about, God rest her soul, Jeff Burton's daughter, God rest her soul. And everybody else who done lost somebody in the street violence in urban areas. We're going to realize lack forces people into decisions that they are not really prepared, that they don't really want to make. Lack and fear. I don't have, which will trigger me into I'm never going to have, which will trigger me into I'm worthless, which means I can do what I want to do because I ain't got nothing to live for. And then I'm hurting people. And then lack thereof makes me also commit crime and take chances that I otherwise wouldn't take. And if I otherwise wouldn't take them, then you're going to have to not blame me for that. You're not going to have to blame me for that. So at some point, we are going to have to, men, and I talk to the sisters because this ain't their job. See, at one point, me and you had a horrible relationship. Horrible. Because I was on you like funk on a bone. Right? But while I was on you like that, your mother was nourishing. Your mother was picking you up. And then she picked you up enough. So when I got my mind together, when I got my emotions intact, stop yelling and screaming and start talking to you. And you mature to the point to realize, oh, he's not wrong. We were able to come together. So I'm not talking to the ladies because the ladies got it on lock. The brothers, we are here to provide and protect and love our children and our families. But provide and protect is at the top of the food chain. So, if your neighborhood is jacked up and it's 7 other brothers on your block, you need to be talking to, oh man, I don't really mess with homie that. Look, man, you want BJ to get shot? Do you want CJJ to get shot? Do you want I can't think intern. I can't think of Chief Rocker's son name, but Kamal, I think that's his name, whatever. You want Chief Rocker, Knox, or whoever. So what we need to do is start, oh man, this is not a bad neighborhood. We got a few bad apples. And what we need to do is step to those apples and be like, yo, I'm not out here, Holmes. And I know it works because I got a homeboy. He used to call me all the time. Right after grandma died, remember I didn't work for a little while. I had the money to cool out. My mom kept chilling around the crib, remember?
Right.
And my homeboy used to call me every once in a while, yo, B, can you give me a ride over here? Yeah, I'll give you a ride over there. He was a gang chief. I knew who he was. I knew what he was doing. And I know sometimes he got in my car with some less than legal things in his pocket, right? And I said to him, this dude is in the gang directory. For those who don't know, in Chicago, come on, my man. For those who don't know, there's a book that is out every year, a directory of legal documented gang members. He's in the gang book as a chief. I know who he is. This is my man. I've been knowing him for years. I said, man, why you never have me drop you off on this block? His response was, the high-ranking figure in the street organization. He said, man, they call the police on that block. We ain't going over there. Everybody who be saying, man, these dudes crazy. They ain't coming to my house to kill me. Man, I know another dude who said, you know what, B, man, I don't hate the police. I hate crooked police. Say, look, I signed up for cops and robbers. So if you catch me, that's your job. My job is to make it hard for you to catch me. If you catch me, that's your job. But don't plant no dope on me and don't lie on the stand. And I'm good. God rest his soul. Vito, when he got out of jail, he said, cuz, that 2 years wasn't that bad, man. He said, but I'm going to be mad for the rest of my life. You know why? He said, because they lied. They didn't beat me, they lied. They cheated to win. So I know people who on the other side of the street. And they don't want no smoke. Remember, when we lived on Maypole, Auntie Rita used to call me, not the police. They selling dope in front of my house. I pull up, yo, down there. And you remember we were standing on Auntie Rita's porch that day. And Buddy next door say, if you sell one more rock in front of my house, it's going to be teddy bears and Hennessy in front of right where you standing tomorrow. Hennessy bottles and teddy bears right where you standing. And them jokers walk down the street. Men, we must step up. Ain't no bad neighborhoods. There's some bad actors in each neighborhood. And if we can curtail that and tell them, not on this block. Going down there in that empty block, you know, the police letting y'all
and to piggyback off that, we got to do it together too. It
Yes.
can't be, if it's 12 houses on the block, it can't be 2 of them calling the police, or it can't be 1 calling the police and then y'all not standing together. Everybody in this neighborhood on this block got to be in cahoots. Hey, we gonna make this block hot as a firecracker. They ain't gonna want to walk down here. I'm calling the police. I get off at 5 o'clock. At 4:30 on a 15-minute break, hey, I ain't even seen my block yet. Hey, it's the people out here standing outside. So by the time I get there, that the police would just be pulling off.
Yeah. And that's what you have to do, because they are not brothers. They are the enemies of the community. You can look, you got to do what you got to do to survive, but you're just not going to do it on this block.
And it ain't nothing wrong with, well, it is something wrong with what you're doing, but like you said, you ain't going to do it over here. You chose your path. Like you said, I chose cops and robbers. Hey, man, play cops and robbers over there.
Right. And, you know, and then we're not going to treat them like they're inhuman. We're going to not treat them like they trash, but men have to step up and be men. Oh, man, these young dudes crazy. They are only as crazy as you let them, because, hey, I know those guys. I would a lot of those dudes, them bunch of cows. It's a lot of them that's a bunch of cows and chickens, man. Bunch of them. They ain't fighting off a cold. And a lot of them dudes, hey, you might be kind of big, but they make coffins your size too. Oh man. But are you willing to stand out here and fight for your children? So your children, hey man, one of the dopest things in the world was me and Big Illinois pitching pennies in front of the crib. We invented a game called baseball. If it was 3 fingers away, it was a triple. Two fingers away, it was a double. 3 fingers away was a base hit. 2 fingers away was a double. Finger away, it was a triple. And you got the line was a home run. Me and Big Illinois used to do that all day. Nobody said anything to us, and it was gangbangers all around us, but they didn't mess with us. If the men stand up and be men, we won't have bad neighborhoods. We'll have bad actors in neighborhoods, and that's not going to ever look. Malcolm X in Malcolm X book Malcolm X, he talked about this group of criminals called the 40 Thieves. So ain't no, we're gonna eradicate crime. You're not gonna eradicate crime, because it's gonna be somebody that's gonna push the edge. They gonna push the envelope to the edge.
It's been crime since the beginning. It's been crime since the beginning of time.
Hey man, the good book starts off with somebody killing somebody.
Exactly. Or then it's also stealing in there.
Right. I mean, stealing it's gonna be here, but support these women and raising these children. And we can fix our neighborhood instead of moving to Peel Hill and the big house up the street. And then look, guess what? It ain't nothing wrong with living in a big house up the street. It's really not. It's really not. But how about we move to Beverly instead of moving to Lincoln Park? There's a lot of us in Beverly. It's mixed, but there's a lot of us in Beverly. When we populate a specific area for us, you know, people who are doing well, affluent people in our community, instead of just moving way out by them, and then we're not getting what we need academically for our children, because the people, look, the greatest thing in the world, and you can attest to it because you did the same thing, Tanisha and them, because Tanisha is the principal at Manil. me and your mama call her Punkin. She's the principal there now. So Punkin went from student at Manette to now she's the principal at Manette.
Teacher and principal.
Yeah.
She's a teacher for a while, too.
Yeah, she was a teacher for a while. Justice Stamps. Nate. People from our community went right into that school and started being educators. And they still in the community. They still live in the community. So that was the beauty in that community. I moved from the west side, the near west side, you know, from 800 west to 2400 west, from 1200 south to 1400 south, and everybody over there, about 75% of us are related. So how we killing each other? And people, hey, if you were on Hastings, if you were on Washburn, if you were in the section of the neighborhood called Germ City, ain't you in that, son? Let me go on about my business. I don't need you telling my mama. Until we get back to that communal thing, it's gonna we can have 50 Coach Primes at 75 universities, and it's not gonna work because we're afraid of each other. We need to have conversation to build community. That's the beauty in the HBCU, because you got mostly professors that look like you, pouring into you, and they are buying into you because they're saying when you hit this corporate world, you're going to represent not only Morris Brown, Arkansas Pine Bluff, Houston Tillerson, FAMU, Winston-Salem State. You're going to represent me. You represent your mama and things of that nature. So, whereas we might be disappointed in Prime, the worst thing we could do is publicly denigrate Prime. We 2 minutes over the thing. No, we're not. No, and yeah, we are 2 minutes over. With that being said, give me your closing word, parting words, and then
parting words. First, again, this was not an episode to slander Deion Sanders. This was just to enlighten. This was just to give our opinion on a certain thing. And then at the end of the day, I'm gonna say it again. I'm not saying he's wrong for his decision, because at the end of the day, that's a decision he has to live with. That's a decision that potentially will. There's nothing wrong with a little extra money. You ain't never heard nobody yell out on earth, man, I got too much money, I don't know what to do with it. Now, I might say that about somebody else, but you ain't never heard a person say that
about themselves.
Exactly. You've never heard that in the history of black people, white, anybody. They ain't never, man, I got too much money, I don't know what to do with it. So, yeah, it's going to be beneficial to his family and whatever he chooses to do next in his walk of life. And my second closing statement is, just like when we talk about the community situation and raising each other, and getting each other together, it's just one thing, we just got to stick together. That's why I'm not going to sit on here, and we have never sat on here and bashed anyone, no matter how foolish their decisions or foolish the things that came out their mouth or ignorant to the subject of the matter. Me and you have never sat on here and said, this person's an idiot, this person's a fool, no, we're going to give you our opinion.
I might have said that once. I might have said that.
Well,
I'm kidding. I'm just being crazy.
But that's not what we do, and that's not what we about. So with that being said, we just got to always come together and stick together.
Touche, young man. Boy, your father must be all right. Oh, that's me. My closing statement is, instead of denigrating people, we must learn how to have conversation and disagree without being disagreeable. Calling him a coon, calling him a sucker, calling him a clown is not going to do him or us any good, because what you're doing is allowing people to watch from the outside and realize all we have to do is uplift one of them and the rest get. Look, this whole crabs in the barrel thing, we're going to do what I want to do is work at doing away with all these tropes that we buy into. We are crabs in the barrel. First of all, crabs in a barrel, if they are out of their natural habitat. If you ever go to the Bahamas and do some snorkeling and you stick your face in the water, you don't see a bunch of crabs fighting on the bottom of the ocean. They just walking around. So crabs in a barrel, they're trying to survive. So we're going to get away with this. We're going to get away with all that. You put something in the book. No. We invented reading. We invented writing. So no. We triggered a movement of education that created public schools. So stop buying. When you say those things, they become self-fulfilling prophecies. The reason I'm bringing that up is Prime is not a coon. Prime is not a sucker. Prime is not a sellout. We're disappointed that he left, but what he did was make us say, hey, we're going to have to do our thing in Jackson State. How about this? Coach Prime left. We didn't like the way he left, but we're going to support TC equally. We're going to go to homecoming next year at Jackson State, Alabama State. And TC and Coach Eddie Robinson Jr., it's going down. And we're going to go to FAMU's homecoming. We're going to go to Howard's homecoming. We're going to go to we need to support these things. We need, since the hottest spot in America of black people over the last 15 years been Atlanta, how about you take your black behind down to the Heritage Bowl and support that? Instead of always supporting that, support this. And speaking of supporting this, I'm going to need you to hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tune in. With that being said, one more thing. Today, I ran into this dude named Charles' son. I don't know who Charles is. Young brother was behind me. He said, hey, man, do you host a podcast? I said, yeah. He called it. He said, on the bench, right? I said, yeah. I said, what, you listen? He said, no, man, my dad be listening. I be walking through the house and I hear it. I knew your voice because I was on the phone talking to Just Joe. So, Charles, thank you, man. And thank everybody else for turning them on to what we're doing here at the end of the bench. Salute to the number one chief rocker, Jersey Burns. Salute to Big Illinois. Salute to Lisa Deuce. Salute to Mooka Dean. DJ Mad Knox. Get better soon, James Earl. Cheers, Roundtree. And get ready for this collaboration, Park Bench with me and Tiger Park, South Carolina in the building at all time. My man Big Mo, we're going to do this Park Bench thing. Yeah, Joe. Yeah, well, yeah, sure was talking to you. Yes, indeed. And my man said, I know your voice. So salute to the young brother. Oops, I didn't send you the link though, young brother. But your daddy watching, so you seen it. You don't see it. I'm slipping. I am slipping. But I'm gonna send it to the young brother now. But no, he subscribed. He subscribed, so I ain't have to send him a link. But thank y'all for tuning in. This is HRap, and that is B with the hat on his head and the poor light. We're gonna talk him into getting the ring light, and we ain't gonna let him do the show.
You know what's crazy? I just bought one.
Oh, okay. Well, use it before you lose it. With that being said, thank y'all for tuning in. As I say every week, you know what? I'm gonna do what I always do at the end of my show. I'm gonna salute the people who give us inspiration, who I've turned you on to, and they turn me on, and so on and so on and so on. My show. Salute to the Ghetto Boys, Tariq Nasheed, Nori, Talib Kweli, Ray Grady, Zoe Williams, Corey Hogan, Craig Smith, Al Sharpton, Heather B, Super Dope Brother Clay Kane, my personal favorite radio personality, Larry Daniel favorites, Dr. Greg Carr. I'm going to play that clip for Greg Carr Tuesday. Dr. Greg Carr, woman doing God's work by the name of Karen Hunter, the dean of this whole thing. Radioactive author Joe Madison, that's the name of his book, Radioactive. He's an activist on the radio, Radioactive. And that's B. I'm HRap. Salute to Reggie O'Shea, rest in power. And I say that to say this: dream your dreams and man up and woman up and live your dreams. Because life without dreams flows in black and white. Life with dreams flows in technicolors and surround sound. And if you didn't understand where we were coming from and you don't like what we're saying, all we need to tell you is, sit your ass down. Sit your ass down. You ain't like what we said. We really don't care. And what you need to do,
you better shut your white mouth. I'm not kidding you.
And if you was feeling what we saying and you ready to join the movement, we appreciate it. And you see what we saying, you see what we doing.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Four-letter words or four-syllable words won't make you a poet. It will only magnify how shallow you are and let everybody know it. And if they look at you like they think you're insane, or they call you scarecrow thinking you ain't got no brain, or start telling folks that you suddenly gone lame, or that the white folks have finally co-opted your game, or you really don't know, they said that about me a long time ago. If they finally start telling people that you lost your nerve, that's what they said about Johannesburg. You ain't insane, you have got a brain, you haven't gone lame, you have got your game. Remember, keep the nerve, keep the nerve, keep the nerve, keep the nerve. We're talking about peace.